like I said, met her, was speechless. Life never goes the way that you think it will go. I almost just rhymed again. Met her, was speechless. Life never goes the way you think it. But that's not proper. But I just want to say thank you to all of you, because your love stories are inspiring. And I'm not one of these people today who feels like what I'm going through right now, you don't understand. The smartest person I ever knew in my life was my grandfather. He unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago. And like I said, I met Inveria January 2010. In my mind, I was married to Inveria January 2011. In my mind, I was married to her January 2011. We just put the rings on this past September. But one of the biggest moments that I knew that I loved her is my grandfather passed away. And my grandmother passed away years before him. They spent about 50 maybe years of marriage. Met each other when they were just teenagers. And they showed me love like nobody else had. Like, that was my model. But when he left, I really didn't know what to do. It felt like a lost puppy dog in the world. Because that's who I went to for all my advice. And the last conversation I had with my grandfather before he passed away was, Grandpa, yes, grandson, I really love this girl. You're too young to know what love was. I'm older than you were when you got married. Okay. But I had the conversation with my grandfather about this woman, my wife, now. And he told me, live life. He gave me all the advice in the world. Live life before you get married. You need to grow up some. And then I told him, I don't really want to, I mean, I know I'll grow more, but I used to have the dream I'd go around the world 4 times. The last 3 times would be with the person that I love. And I told him, now I don't want to go around the world once by myself. I want to go around the world with her. And 4 times, and 5 times. And at that point he said, well, looks like you got some thinking to do. And he gave me his blessing, not knowing that that would carry me the next year and a half that he was going to be with her. But back to the original story. When I was sitting bawling my eyes out in a church at my grandfather's funeral, this goofball over here texted me and asked the whole text and asked, first she tried to call, and I texted her, I was like, I'm in the funeral. And she texted, she said, well, how are you? And I said, I'm not doing too well, but I'll be okay. And this, because she looks really composed right now, doesn't she? She looks like she's got everything under control. She sent me the text, I wish I was there to wipe your snotty nose. I looked like a crazy man. Because in the midst of everybody crying, and in the midst of me crying, and I did have a snotty nose, but in the midst of me being on that front row and feeling like my whole world was just crashing down around me, I just started laughing so hard, like out loud. The pastor who was doing the sermon stopped. They brought an usher up to ask if I was okay. But that man defined my life. People say I'm so much like him. And so looking around here, I wish, I don't know if you guys have, do you guys have an outreach program, Kareem, where people can come in here and soak up all of this knowledge? Because, I mean, I tell you what, I love my wife. There's a song that says, I love you more today than yesterday, but only half as much as tomorrow. That's how I feel with her. But I loved her as much as I thought humanly possible I could today. But then walking in here and seeing you all, for some, I won't say odd reason, for some blessed reason, I know that I'm going to walk out of here loving her tenfold as much as I did walking in here. And this was such a great experience. And if Kareem lets us sometime, I'm not saying we have to come back and sing, but I'd love to just have you all here and then to just sit here and just listen to your stories. Because I have a does anybody know the show Doctor Who? Anybody? It's a show called Doctor Who. It's on British television. It's been out since like the 60s. He said, we are all stories at the end. Make sure yours is a good one. I live by that. I mean, as a Christian, how do we know about not stories, but how do we know about the Bible? Because people wrote them down because they were good enough. And so I feel like all of you in here are just a well of love and knowledge. That me being the tender age of 26, even though I feel like I may know it all, I do not. And I wish some people our age would understand that we don't know. I mean, you all probably learn new things every day. We're way behind you all in the knowledge department. But that was our last song. It wasn't planned to be our last song. But thank you. Because we just all together just made probably one of the most beautiful love songs. That if somebody out there would have heard it, it might have been at the Grammys or on an award show. But that's not what matters. What matters is that you all gave me your stories. And you all let me feel, you all let us feel your love. And we made a song out of it. So thank you. So I would like to applaud you all.